let's understand, martial arts isn't only about learning how to fight, learning how to defend yourself in physical confrontations. There's many more aspects to it that every human being on planet could benefit from. It just happens to be an activity that involves learning how to defend yourself in very physical and very demanding environments. Now, whether you're doing martial arts to learn how to fight, self-defense, or if you want to learn for the mental aspects of it, which translate very well into our adulthood, especially when you start young. And that's really where I want to go with this. Starting young in martial arts sets the stage for opening up so many doors and expanding our mindset and really maturing us at an early age. And we learn lifelong lessons that stick with you forever. I know, because I'm a product of that. Good morning. My topic today is very black and white and very simple. Martial arts is not scary. It's not as scary as a lot of people probably think it is. So let's date this back to what martial arts really is. Yes, martial arts is, in fact, somebody training to learn how to defend themselves physically. You're learning techniques that allow you to stabilize somebody that is either trying to fight with you specifically, or if you're using it to help other people, your surrounding, your loved ones. All in all, it gives you the self-confidence to be able to stand up for yourself and those that you care about. Period. Okay, so let's start again. When I started martial arts, and depending on who you ask, you're going to get different opinions on which certain things are exactly martial arts. And I say that because I started wrestling. Back when I started wrestling, you didn't really think wrestling martial arts. You thought karate martial arts, taekwondo martial arts. For the most part, most people didn't even consider boxing martial arts. You separated the two. Even though the whole idea of the two of them was learning self-defense and how to strike an opponent and minimize being attacked back, you never really considered boxing and martial arts as more so it was a sport, the sweet science. And I think a lot of this has to do with tradition and just kind of what we've understood it to be at first. Wearing a gi, you're out there and you're at range, you're fighting somebody with a similar style as you, your wushu, your kung fu, all your different elements of martial arts that originated long, long ago across the entire planet. So to summarize martial arts is a lot more than just a physical component of it. It's not scary. Contrary to the mass belief, martial arts instills so much more life lesson that sticks with somebody forever, much more than you can possibly imagine. And it has a lot of elements to it beyond just learning the skills itself. There's such a mental grasp on it, it's such a confidence booster, especially in the youth when you start young. These are the elements that need to be discussed and why it's important for kids to be put into certain classes, not just to learn. It's going to be hard. It's going to be scary. Your kid's going to be in environments that they're not comfortable with, but that's life. Every element in life, every shift, every time we mature into a new part of our life, there's challenge, there's struggle. We're overcoming things. These need to be taught early on. And that can take place in any sport team. It can. Whether you're doing baseball, football at a young age, you're doing tennis, dancing. It's extremely difficult, and much respect to dancers. Most martial artists will agree with that. Whatever you're doing at a young age, it teaches you about teamwork. It teaches you about responsibilities, discipline, how to work together in an environment that requires multiple people to come together to create something that's awesome. Whether you're trying to win a team sport, win a trophy, or if you're an individual competition, but you still need a team to help get yourself better and also at the same time making your teammates better. So whether you've ever been in an environment where martial arts just happened to be what you were put in, and a lot of the times that's just based off who your surroundings are. You have that uncle that boxed when they were a kid and it's their life goal to put their nephew or their niece into boxing classes. Or if you yourself are the parent that did all of these martial arts, you saw what it did for you, and you just want those same values for your kid. Or you're the weekend warrior that missed your shot and you want to live vicariously through your kids. That's the route I recommend not going. Not for that reason anyways. So martial arts changed my life right away. When I was a kid, I would say, elementary school, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade, I wasn't a big kid. I was short. I had zero confidence. I didn't do anything physical. I played baseball. I played baseball because my older brother played baseball, and he loved it so much I wanted to do it because I wanted him to like me. And I was good. I was fine. I was played every year all through my elementary years, and it was fun. I understood it. I did good. But then when I got a little bit older, and by older I mean like 7th grade, you go from elementary school to middle school, one classroom to multiple classrooms a day. You start to pick up different characteristics of your surroundings, and kids are a little bit older now. Kids congregate in groups. I wasn't one of those kids. I didn't have a group per se that I was comfortable in or really felt welcomed. I had a couple of friends, absolutely. None of them were of the sports athletic people. None of them were involved in anything that would develop confidence. So we were just a small group. We hung out. And I had been bullied previously to that. So I understood what that felt like emotionally, to not be able to feel like you can defend yourself and there's really nobody to help you. So you have to tell your parents. Obviously, when you tell your parents, the parents are going to definitely step up, because I would do it too as a parent now. You want the best for your kid. Parents go to the school, you pull the other kid into there, their parent comes in, so now it's known, it's a thing. And that's a learning experience at that moment, because the bully also sees you can get in trouble for your actions. But maybe he learned, the bully I'm speaking of now, maybe he learned, I probably shouldn't do this because I'm going to get in trouble. But you know what I learned? I learned that no matter what controversy I'm facing, I wasn't going to be confident enough to protect myself. So I needed to depend on somebody, my parents, which is great when you're a kid. That's what they're for. Parents are there to nurture us, keep us safe. There comes a point in time when we have to start learning things and learning them through experience. And most of the time, we're not prepared for something like that. We're not prepared for confrontation. That's just not something that you get used to early on, especially if your surroundings are the exact opposite. And I mean is, maybe you didn't grow up with an environment where everybody was fighting and, yelling, and just negativity and aggression was natural and normal. There's some kids that grew up in that, and that's not what I'm talking about by learning how to fight. Those are the values that you're stripping if all you learn first is how to fight. Which is why I'm talking about martial arts. Because martial arts instills so many more values that I could be here all day and do a 4-hour video on that. But it's not going to be a 4-hour video. Martial arts saved my life. I started wrestling in the 8th grade. 7th grade, I was being bullied. I have a very, very vivid memory of the exact moment when I realized I needed to do something, because I just don't have any confidence. I don't believe in myself. I don't really like what I'm looking at in 7th grade. I'm telling myself this. I think a lot of people can not regulate. A lot of people can definitely understand that and kind of feel a common ground. Now it's a lot harder because of the internet. Kids are talking bad on each other and putting it on the social media. Everybody sees it. It's very depressing, and it can turn somebody very, very dark. This has always existed. It's just a lot easier now. But I didn't have any confidence. I didn't feel like I was fitting in with anybody, and I didn't have the confidence to go try. So from 7th grade to 8th grade, I had to leave the school and transfer, because in 7th grade there was a moment on the playground where I was playing with my friends and there was other kids playing, and one of the basketballs hit me in the shoulder, some guy. So then I turn around, and he's a bully, because he doesn't show any remorse. He doesn't say, "Oh, I'm sorry," which is a very easy thing to do, to pretty much wash your hands from any confrontation. Some people like confrontation. He was one of them. And he came up to me and said, "Get out of the way," because the ball was bouncing and rolled in front of me. And then I moved, and he picked it up. As he walked by me, he did that punky motion, that flinching, did that to me. And I flinched because I was scared. I didn't have any confidence in myself. And for some reason, out of my mouth comes the word asshole. I don't know why I said that. I wasn't confident enough to be able to accept the responsibilities of what consequences coming at me. Didn't think. I reacted emotionally. And that was a big mistake at that moment, because all he did was walk up to me, punch me in the chest, I fall. All the kids see. Teachers come, break it up. And that's the end of it. We go back to class. Well, I go back to the bathroom because I'm very emotional now. I'm scared. I'm scared because what happened to me was a real thing that my dad wasn't there to save me on. Maybe he could save me later, but in that moment, I felt what it was like to feel just alone because I didn't have anything. I didn't have nobody to protect me. And this was in my mindset. I needed protection. Not thinking that I need to protect myself. I hadn't been taught that. So then I left over the summer to go live with my aunt and my cousins across the other side of town. It's a little bit rougher part of town than where I was living at the moment. I didn't live in a good area, but then I moved into a rougher area, which was the blessing in disguise because it put me in an element where I had to rise. And I had people around me that I knew cared about me. A lot of my cousins. I met a lot of good friends from them in this new school I went to. And they wrestled. So that's how I started wrestling. Believe me, I didn't have the confidence to just walk in and start wrestling on my own. I needed people around me that were encouraging, that I saw doing it themselves. So I started wrestling, and my first year I was terrible. I even remember I went 5-15. That was my record. And we were the number one school in the whole city. We were number one. We were number one in the league. No thanks to me. Other than filling a spot at the 97-pound roster, I was just learning how to be confident. So for me, those were the lessons I took. I won. I won for the purpose of what I set out to do, which is develop some confidence and learn, even in the smallest moments, how to defend myself. And that changed my mentality. Because then from that point on, I started to be a little bit more outgoing. It was easier for me to make friends, talk to people, to have a sense of humor, be confident enough to express myself, understanding the pushback that could have came. But at that moment, I was really starting to mature a little bit. And it felt good. I felt the change. I immediately felt it. I started to feel myself carrying myself differently. I wasn't shoulder hump, chin down. I was now shoulder back, chin in the air. Feeling good, losing weight, feeling good, physically feeling good. At 13 years old, this makes a big difference because it sets the stage for overcoming adversities, which we are going to accomplish over the lifetime after that. So I learned early on, overcoming physical and mental roadblocks is very, very important. Through the wrestling, I was no good. I went to practice every day. I wasn't being successful. I showed up day in, day out. And it was easier for me to do it because my cousins did it. So we all did it together. And I did this all through high school, year round. We wrestled. Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. After wrestling was over, graduate high school and move on and you go into the real world. I'd be lying if I told you that I was fully confident at that moment. Yes, I had learned a skill set that was going to be with me forever to this day, and I still implement wrestling into my martial arts. But it didn't really change my headspace. I can't really explain why. What it did shift, though, was my confidence, most definitely. But I was still missing elements in myself that just didn't allow me to really understand who I was and what I really needed to do to express myself and to really push all these tangibles out that I had inside. I just wasn't confident enough to just let them flow and let it be like water, like Bruce Lee says, who's one person that most people looked up to in martial arts. Whether you believe he was an actor, a real martial artist or not, the guy's values and the guy's mindset set the stage for what martial arts is today. And it's very important that we understand martial arts is much more than the physical aspects of it. Because I've seen many kids come into martial arts for a couple reasons. Overweight, lacking self-confidence, they were being bullied. Every single one of them was terrified day one. And it's the job of the coach to make sure this person feels very welcome, understanding this is a group that is designed for you. It's designed to put you through school, through life lessons, through understanding how to find the confidence in yourself that is in there. We all have it. It just has to be resurfaced. Sometimes it takes a leader, a mentor, a coach to help us find that. And that's only going to happen if we put ourselves in that element. It's uncomfortable. We've got to understand that going in, that martial arts is uncomfortable. It's different. You have to learn certain things that you don't know today that other people do. And, not knowing it and them knowing it leads to physical, uncomfortable environments. Let's just put it like that. Punched in the face, getting kicked, getting choked, getting thrown. All of these things take place in martial arts depending on which one you're doing. Every day. It doesn't stop. It's just you become thrown less, you get punched less because you're starting to learn more. But all the while you're learning the physical skills, your mindset is shifting. You're getting confident. You're starting to tunnel vision on one path, and that's just your overall roadblock, your overall vision in life. You're not going to get there if you're not confident. You got to be confident to get anywhere in life. That's good. You got to be able to understand there's failure. So you got to take the risk. These are elements that we take into our adulthood. I'm not wrong when I say that. Whatever you're doing in life, you had to work hard to get where you're at. You had to get through obstacles, overcome them. You had moments where you wanted to quit. But by quitting, you're not going to win. By quitting, you're not really going to be able to fulfill and really see how deep you can dig and express what you have inside that's just waiting for you to let it out. We all got it. We all have that dog in us. Doesn't matter who you are, it's there. We're human beings. We have that in us. It's what we do. We can adapt. We can do many more things than our mind thinks we can. But we need to get our mind on the page of understanding it can. Martial arts did that for me. It opened up my eyes to who I was as a person. I learned a lot along the ways. I've been doing martial arts now, if I'm including from day one, 26 years. And I've learned a lot about myself. But all in all, what it really did, it gave me the confidence to be able to not hold back, to do what it is my heart and my mind were telling me I need to do, which is help people. Hadn't understood that yet. So I got into personal training, and I had no ability to talk to people, to communicate. I just didn't have that. I wasn't confident with that. So I had to do other things like car sales, to go through sales, just to learn how to build rapport, how to talk to somebody, how to just be a regular person and be able to use that to push myself in my professional career, which at the time was personal training. And then I went through the ranks to management, sales manager, general manager, branched out, new gym, eventually became gym owner. All this took place over a lifetime of being uncomfortable. And the only reason I was able to be comfortable being uncomfortable was because martial arts taught me early on, it's okay to be uncomfortable because things will become less uncomfortable because you will become more comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's a mouthful to say, but in a nutshell, you just get used to the chaos. And when you can stay calm in the chaos, you can do anything. You can accomplish anything. And martial arts did that for me, and it's done it for a lot of people I know. Whether you're 5 or 70, martial arts has its values that can benefit any human being on this planet. So if you're on the borderline of thinking about martial arts, whatever one that may be, the only way you're really going to understand is for you to take the step and walk in and start day one. Because you have to start day one. Day one is the hardest day. Start day one and set yourself a short-term goal of 3 months. Give the martial art its due diligence and give yourself 3 months to it. You're going to notice a lot of changes, physical and mental. It's going to change you for become a better person because that's what it does. I can't tell you how many people's lives I've seen change and saved. People that battle depression, alcoholism, people that just have a bad temper and have made bad decisions in life. Martial arts puts you on the path of being a good person, good morale, and it teaches you to give back. It does. It's what it does. Yes, people use it to fight, to make a living. People use it to go out there and learn how to fight and then go bully. These are not the people I'm talking about. And a lot of that has to do with environment. And there's a lot of people out there teaching martial arts for the wrong reasons. And I'm coming for you. Just like a lot of people just like me are coming for you. If you're out there teaching martial arts and you're removing the respect and value behind it, you're going down. Your time's coming, I promise you. And I'll be on the front lines ready to help whoever else has those same beliefs as me. And there's a lot of us. Try martial arts because it's going to save your life. And not for you only, for your kids. Put your kids in martial arts. They're going to learn so many things these words won't even express. But take my word for it. I'm a product of it. I was a terrified kid. Nobody knew because I kept to myself. Through martial arts, it allowed me to blossom out and to really expand on who I was and who I wanted to become and who I am today and who I'm going to be until the day I die. Because it's the lifestyle that I chose. Okay? We all have a lifestyle. We all have a decision. My decision put me on the path to be able to follow mine through martial arts, I'm able to give back and help people. And that's what I love to do. Try martial arts because it's going to save a lot, I mean a lot, of mental battles you're going to have with yourself. Surround yourself with the right people to do it. It's a brotherhood and sisterhood like you'll never imagine.